Alright, so I just asked my buddy Mike there how he likes my riding. Gave me a big thumbs up. That's my buddy Paul. Good to see him back on the start line because he was out for the last race. He's back for a rainy round 6 at Sewanee, Tennessee. This is CXC round 6, the final round of their summer series. And we are racing, I am racing in the 45 plus C class. And Mike and Paul are in the 50 plus C class. The radar showed no rain, and as you can see, it is raining. Luckily it wasn't too bad. It wasn't a downpour. It just kind of sprinkled for a little bit and then kind of faded away. Made for decent conditions. It wasn't too muddy and definitely wasn't dusty. We've had some dusty races this summer. This one was not dusty. So this is the 40C class in front of us, about ready to go off. Waiting for the flag to go. And they are off. So that was 30C and 40C. And I'm lined up with 50C and 45C.
Yep, good luck.
So the gentleman down there, way down there, he's holding the green flag. He's getting ready to call 10 seconds. And then he will wave the green flag, which is the indicator to get your race on. My strategy here is to watch for his hand to move and not necessarily the flag. Got a decent start here. That's Kelly Capeheart in the 50C class who came in from the left. He gets the whole shot. I get sprinkled with some mud. And unfortunately, I didn't think to clean my camera off, so we're kind of stuck with this view for a while. So my strategy here is to stay with Kelly. I've raced with him many times before. He keeps a pretty good pace in the beginning, and I really don't have a need to go much faster at the moment. I do start to get a little impatient because I want to put some distance between me and who's ever in my class behind me. I usually kind of do a count of who's in my class, like how many people I'm up against. For some reason, this time I didn't. I think I just had too much on my mind. There's a couple of things I forgot. Unfortunately, one of the things I did not bring were tear-offs for my goggles. So the view that you're seeing through the camera is pretty much the same view I have through my goggles. And I didn't want to wipe my goggles because I was afraid it would just smear and make things worse. So I just kind of grinned and bared it for a while before I finally wiped off my goggles. And I eventually wipe off the camera, so stick with me. The camera view will get better. You can see Kelly there just took a tear off of his goggles, and I tried to make a pass because he slowed down a little bit to do that. But I think he felt me coming and kind of sped up a little bit to make sure I didn't get in front of him. Again, at this point, I don't really have a need to pass Kelly. I can hang with him, keep him in my sights. We're racing in different classes anyway, but he usually keeps a good pace. Right here you can see we're coming up on some traffic and things are going to get a little hectic. I'm I'm kind of hoping for a good spot to pass Kelly here. Maybe he can get hung up behind one of the slower riders. Kelly's always got a pretty good get-up going. His bike's usually decked out. You can see the horns he's got on his helmet. He has a lot of fun with it. If you haven't checked out his channel, it's Cockfight. Reb Kel is the name on it. If you get a chance, go check out his channel. He's got a lot of good videos on there. So, unfortunately, I'm the one that gets stuck behind the slower rider. I do get a little frustrated, you know, emotions run high in the races, so I vented a little bit, but no hard feelings. In front of me is in the gray fly pants. That was Nevin Sims. He pretty much had the 45 class wrapped up for the series win, and he decided to race in the 50C class for this race. As you can see, I'm still trying to pass my rider. I'm voicing and offering up some words of encouragement there, and I'm after I do some off-roading, blaze a new trail, I'm able to get around him. And at this point, I don't know who passed me or if I passed anyone. I felt like the entire field passed me at that point. And I know that some 50C class riders passed me, but I don't know if anybody in my class passed me.
No idea who passed.
So I've lost sight of Kelly. Some A riders are coming around now. This is a pretty short and fast track. It was just over 6 miles, and these A riders were doing it in about 14 minutes, and I was doing them about 22 minutes consistently. So, you know, we go off the line separated by 60 seconds, and we were around row 11. So these A riders had 11 minutes ahead of us. They're doing it in 14 minutes. You do the math. It doesn't take long for them to catch up to us and lap us early into the first lap. So a lot of traffic here. A riders are hitting the traffic. Kind of struggling to get around some of us guys who... Oh, there's Kelly. Finally got in front of Kelly. I think he moved out of the way for the A riders and was surprised to see folks from his line pass him. Tried to get around that rider there and wasn't able to, so I'm going to try again. And I just kind of ran out of room there. He was trying to let me pass. He made a decent effort. I just didn't have the guts to bang bars with him. Then I quickly realized that he's holding a good pace, and I would kind of hold with him. Passing him right now wouldn't give me that much of an advantage. And again, I don't know who in my class might be in front of me. I don't know how many would be behind me because I didn't bother to check how many were in my class. So I might be first, I might be fifth. I have no idea. Those headlights were bright. The guy had his high beams on. So you can hear the air riders as they come up behind you. They usually give you a good rev. Usually bounce it off the rev limiter a couple of times. And I don't mind getting out of their way as long as I got room. Sometimes there's just not a good place to pull off. And the last thing I want to do is stop. So you see that line, that hot line that guy took to the right there. I made a mental note to take that line next time around. There's another fast rider. I always try to watch the fast riders when they pass me, kind of see how they maneuver the course. I've learned a little bit watching them. A lot of passing going on here. This is my second time at this particular place. They finished up the series last year in this same spot. Last year was a little drier, but similar course layout. I recognized some of the course. They reused some of it. Nice place, like riding here. It's very fast. The parking situation's a bit tight, though. I wish the parking was a little bit better.
Give you plenty of room.
So I'm riding a 2022 KTM 150 XCW EFI. Really like this bike. It's very lightweight. Last year for this series I rode a 2021 Honda CRF 250F, which is a great bike, fantastic torque. It was a great little hill climber. It would tractor up just about anything, but it was a bit heavy for me and just didn't have that crisp power that this KTM 2-stroke provides. We're coming through the timing tent here. Wasn't sure what to expect. As you can see from the screen, I'm in second place. I always have a hard time catching my position and how far I am behind the guy in front of me. So I was actually in first, but they hadn't made the change in the system for Nevin Sims, who had moved to the 50C class. So they were still counting him in my class, which, according to the computer, I was in second place, when in reality I was in first. I didn't know that at this moment. So I don't know if you caught that or not. A little while ago, after coming through the timing tent, I attempted to check my watch. I like to keep track of the time. This KTM has a nice computer on it where you can do that, but I am just not skilled enough to do the button pushing on the computer and race. The racing itself takes up most of my time, but unfortunately I was not able to see the face of my watch due to the glare. And I also realized at that moment that I had forgotten to start my exercise app on my watch. It's the Garmin Instinct watch, and I like to record my heart rate and see how hard I was working during the race. I can tell you with the KTM, I'm working a lot less hard than I was with the Honda CRF 250F. My max heart rate on the Honda would hit upwards around 180. On the KTM, it might get around 160. You can hear those brakes behind me. They were behind me. For some reason, a lot of those faster riders, their brakes are squeaky like that. You can hear them coming from a mile away. So I had about an hour and 15 minutes worth of footage. I try to cut this down to just the spots where I'm passing riders or riders are passing me, and the other action shots that I think are of value. There's a lot of in between, just kind of cruising the trail that I think a lot of viewers don't want to see. But if you want to see the whole thing raw, uncut, let me know in the comments. I will gladly post the video in its uncut form. Track's getting a little rough, starting to get some more roots exposed, some more bumps in the trail. Those roots can jump up and grab you at any time, as you least expect it. I probably had about 20 close calls where I felt like the front end was going to just wash out on me. When they laid out this course, they made a good job of mostly putting it on high ground. You could see here, this is probably one of the lower sections of the course, so it's a little wetter, a little muddier, and some roots are starting to form. If I'm able to, I can kind of remember where the ruts are and go around them. A couple of those sections had some good spots to go around. Later on in the race, I do make it around those ruts. I avoid the deeper ruts, mainly because my bike is lowered, so I'm a shorter rider, and the stock height of motorcycles nowadays are way too tall for somebody of my stature, so I lower bikes, and they don't quite get through those deep ruts like the others. Close call there. Thought I could sneak around him before that tree got in the way. Again, another close call. He was making every effort to let me get around him. I just, again, didn't have the speed. Love to watch those fast riders make their way through the woods. It's quite entertaining. So a little bit of strategy. If you are trying to get around a rider that is in your class and you're riding about the same speed, one trick that's been used on me several times and I may have used it a couple of times, is to, if you're close to the rider in front of you that you want to pass and you just can't seem to find that perfect spot to pass him, wait till a faster rider comes by and draft that rider. And usually the rider you're trying to pass will get out of the way for them, and if you're behind them, you'll pass them too. So here in front of me, I got Nevin Sims. Again, he's pretty much wrapped up the points before this race for the 45C Class Series win. He's racing in 50C for this race. I think that's what he's going to race next summer at CXC as well. I think he wants to see how he does in Sorks first before he decides, but him and I kind of battled back and forth over the summer. Started with the first race at Nuclear Showdown. We finished, I finished in second, or I'm sorry, I finished in third, he finished in second, and literally seconds away from each other. I chased him to the finish line, so a lot of fun racing with Nevin, good guy. He's going to race Sorks through the winter, and I'm going to do MSXC. Sorks is a little too far for me to travel. So I kind of gave up some time there, stopping for those faster riders. I did want to get around Nevin, you know, since he's a guy I've been racing with all summer. And I kind of gave up some time there, but maybe I can reel him back in. I'm doing the voiceover for this video because I got some feedback that some folks wanted to know what I was thinking during the race. Kind of get some insight into what's going on. So if you're liking the commentary, leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you like it. Let me know if there's something else that you're curious about. Happy to share. If you want to know, what kind of tires I'm running, anything like that, again, happy to share. Always offering words of encouragement to the faster riders. So I got Nevin in my sights again. Took that inside hotline that I saw the rider do on the first lap. Didn't quite get me the advantage I was looking for. And Nevin is still out in front of me. Tried again here, taking a different line. Nevin had the faster line. And he gains a little bit on me. Really, at this point, I'm happy that he's still in my sights and that I haven't lost track of him, because once I lose track of a rider, I tend to kind of slow down a little bit. If I can have him in my sights and kind of have a target to chase, I'll ride a little faster, a little better. I ended up doing 5 laps in the 2 hour. The pro riders and the faster riders, A riders, they did 7 laps. So some of these guys passed me twice. Finally got around Nevin there, found a spot to overtake him. I don't think he knew it was me, but he knows now. Coming up to the timing tent. So last time through I was in second place. I kind of expected to be in second place again, but I was actually in first place. And this is when I started to wonder if Nevin wasn't being counted in the right class, which ended up being the case. So, still didn't know for sure, so I wanted to hold on and protect my first place position. So, that's what I did. I tried not to make any mistakes, but still ride as fast as I can. So, as I mentioned earlier, I don't have a target to chase. For instance, this rider in front of me is not in my group. He's not someone to chase, so I kind of relax a little bit.
Thank you.
Which I know I shouldn't do, and I tell myself when I'm on the course not to do that. Looking back at my times were very consistent, all within 22 minutes and some change. So even though it may seem like I was relaxing, it still wasn't. I wasn't going much slower.
You alright? You alright? Okay.
Usually if you see a biker down and they're up walking around, they're usually okay. Always good to check though. Gotta look out for each other out there. It's a rider from the buddy class.
You're good. Thank you.
So just got fooled there. You heard the rev. That was Nevin, who came up behind me and gave me a rev like he was a AA rider or something, and I yielded and let him pass. If I knew it was Nevin, I wouldn't have yielded. But good on him. Take advantage when you can. See some spots on the camera lens there. Still trying to rain. At some point we did see some sunshine. But actually as we were leaving at the end of the race and going home, it did start to rain a little bit harder for the four-wheelers in the afternoon. So again, gave up a little bit of time to Nevin there, making way for a faster rider. But don't worry, I'll reel him back in. Here's my chance. Got him. So again, if you like the video and you like the commentary, let me know down in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe, of course. Us YouTubers like our subscribers. Want to make content that you enjoy, that you look forward to, and hopefully see you out there on the course. I did end up finishing first on the day, if I didn't mention that. And there were only a few of us out there in my class, so that's probably why I finished first. Another thing about the fast riders, they usually travel in packs. So always expect there to be more than one passing you. Finally found that hot line on that corner. Thanks for watching.